Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where I just spent down our money and I was also looking around at potential opportunities and I found this. Now, we don't have the prestige to do it right now. We don't have any borders with Ruthenia, but that is a significant gain. How old is our claimant here? 44. So it'll probably be fine after we press our claim on White Rus. We're still not going to have any borders with Ruthenia, but I do think we need to press that. I have not actually looked up here. Do we have anything up this way? I mean, we've got a duchy claim. So it's not amazing. Okay, noted. So absolutely Ruthenia will be our next war. I think that's very, very clear at this point, assuming that guy doesn't die on us. Now, we're currently, of course, fighting White Rus here, and we do need to raise up our forces. So that'll be about here. We'll raise men-at-arms and a few levy troops. And what do we need here? Oh, 20,000. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to be a lot. Okay, so this will be absolutely fine. We're going to head on in here. These factions are likely fake. We'll keep an eye on them, but they are likely fake. I just started up the game, so yeah. There is apparently a faction... Nope, they're all fake. Gotcha. Okay, so that's all good. No problem whatsoever there. We do need to work up our current prestige a bit, because attacking Ruthenia is, of course, going to keep us in prestige debt. But that's okay for the moment, I think. I'm not too concerned about that. Let's just go up here and siege this for the time being. I'm keeping an eye on their forces here, but we're kind of moving in opposite directions. Now that we're heading down here, we can look to fight them. They're sieging pretty slowly. Okay. Sure, we'll pay the Royal Court a visit. What do we have going on here? 95% chance of a successful wound treatment. Okay, sure. His genius will be nurtured, and we'll speak well of this guy. Okay. Looks good. So we're going to head on down and fight these guys. They are not happy about this prospect, obviously. Why would they be happy about this prospect? These guys are going to escape and run away, but we stack wipe the majority of their force here. And now, actually, these guys are turning around? That's a mistake. Ally? Yeah, Finland came in. Okay, that's fine. No problem whatsoever here. So we're going to eliminate this force. We actually captured his son and heir. War is over. So we'll enforce our demands and disband our troops. Phenomenal. Next up, as I said, is Ruthenia. And technically, we do now have borders with Ruthenia. Okay. Well, that's exciting for sure. What we don't have is enough prestige for this. But I don't think the fame penalty actually matters to us. Like, we're already living legend. I think this is fine. We're not going to seize our de jure lands. We would end up pressing this guy's claim. Yeah, we'll take a fame penalty of like 4,600, but I'm okay with that. Cool. So that's absolutely fine. We're going to drop our rally point here. We just need to get this pressed while we can, right? And what does Ruthenia have for troops? 22,000? Okay. No real problem here. So we'll get some of these raised on up, and inward we go. We'll just get this sieged, and then we'll head over towards their capital. The real question is, where's their army going to show up at? And that'll definitely be an interesting question, since their army is worth 50% war score. For now, of course, we're not expecting any significant issues here. Our issues, as I said previously, are going to come from internal factions. And those factions are just getting stronger and stronger as we continue to expand. So it's going to get a little tougher for us, but it's completely fine. No major issue at all. We're going to get Korostin over here sieged down. Perfect. And we'll push on to their capital. Pushing through Chernobyl here into Kyiv. Looks good. Do we want to get a crush on the King of Hellas? That would be critical stress. Sure, whatever. I guess it's fine. He only wanted to be friends, but we still only gained half of the stress that we otherwise would have. So that's absolutely fine. They are actually sieging us down here? Okay. I mean, that's probably about as best as they're going to get. Actually, we should head over here first. So let's head over to this capital or rather this castle, and wow, that was a fast siege. And we'll just push on through this line of castles in Kiev. Perfect. So in we go here. And we'll eliminate their mercenary force that they hired. No problem whatsoever there. So we're at 56% war score right now. This is going to give us a decent chunk of that. Yeah. I think we continue to siege, right? Where did they go? Are they coming back up this way? They shouldn't. Honestly, their best chance is to siege down there and not fight us. To be honest, it's not a very high chance, but that is their best chance. They are coming back. Okay. They're going to try to, like, relieve the occupation of Kiev. But it doesn't matter. The war is over, and we will disband our troops. So that's Ruthenia under our control now. That is significant territorial gains. We can take a look and see if we've got anything in Zaporizhia. I really don't expect it. We do have something in Zaporizhia. Okay. This guy's got a claim on Zaporizhia. Sure. The question is, do we want to keep going into prestige debt? I mean, as long as we've got these claims, this guy's 62. He's going to die pretty soon. So I think we have to take this fame penalty and just push straight on through. Is it painful? Yes. We would prefer to be working our way out of prestige debt right now, but I think it's absolutely worthwhile at this moment. So what does this guy have? 5,000. Okay. An enemy ally joins, bringing him up to a blistering 12,000. It's really quite irrelevant. We're going to head on in over here, and we're just going to take over his capital. So, of course, we're currently truced to Georgia. Yes, we're currently truced to Georgia. Do we have anything on this guy? We'll find out after our war with Zaporizhia. We do have several... Do we get any prestige here? No. Throw him in jail. We have several de jure claims that we do want to press. But right now, we're pressing non-de jure claims. Hi, I guess we're over here. We're pressing non-de jure claims at this point because our claimants are going to die eventually. So it's obviously a higher priority. The real question is here, do we go up here or here? Based on crossings, I think we go here and then we can cross over if need be. Which probably it will need. It's kind of remarkable that something this size is only 4 counties. But so it is. We do need a new chancellor, and that will be this lady. Cool. And let's just go finish occupation. Actually, there's another castle out over here. So that's going to be mildly awkward for us. And we've died. Actually, that's not a bad thing here. That's not a bad thing at all. So we've got this guy. He does not have a betrothal at this moment. It was definitely very awkward. Like I say, we've been dying very consistently. But there are some good things that brings us. Specifically, we reset our piety and our prestige. And that's actually kind of okay. Now, we're very likely to have some factionalism here. We need to wrap up this war. No doubt about it, we're going to have some internal issues. So we're going to head on over this direction. There we go. 94? I was under the impression that was full occupation. Oh, it's probably just because of this occupation here. Mildly awkward, but we'll head on down. Do we want to become just? Let's see, it was temperate that gives us piety per month, right? Yes. So we're going to take temperate. That'll be fine. And we're going to head on down over this way and fight these guys. Do we get there before they finish that siege? No, we do not. But we can still eliminate their army. No problem whatsoever here. War is over. We actually reoccupied that literally instantly, which was interesting. Okay, so that's done. Now, Crimea has separated from Georgia. That's interesting. I want to look at the empire level titles over here. So this is the Empire of Russia, and this is the Empire of Carpathia. We need one more title for the Empire of Carpathia. It's mildly awkward. Well, we're definitely going to have some factionalism here. There's no doubt about that. Currently, this is exclusively a faction to install this lady on our throne. And I think we just fight it. Yeah, we just fight it. So this is acceptable. This is acceptable. This is acceptable. And this is acceptable. Cool. So next up, there we go. The question is, can we get this ruler to adulthood? If we don't, problems kind of ensue. We do have a player heir and sister who is slightly older. So we do still have a backup, but we definitely hope this kid makes it to adulthood. It would be awkward if he didn't. But we'll see. So we're definitely working our way through Eastern Europe over here. No real problems there. We could learn Arabic, but that would be a lot of stress. For the moment, we're not going to do that. We absolutely want to leave this kid alive. So 204% allegedly. It would be mostly the King of France that would be leading this. No, we absolutely don't let kings out of prison right now. That would be a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible. So none of that is happening. Wonderful. So they can send their ultimatum in 4 months. Okay. That's reasonably fine. Is there any other factions that are actually close here that might be behind it? Oh, we could gain the trait Generous here. Generous would not actually be useful for us. I was thinking for some reason that might gain us more piety, but it doesn't. I'll still take it for the 100 piety, but that's still mildly awkward. Okay, a count escaped our prison. This guy remains in our prison. There we go. Cool. So personally, I suspect a big part of the reason why we get murdered so much is because of the rivalries from being imprisoned. That is something that was added in the latest patch. I suspect that's part of it. But that's fine. I'm still going to do this because I don't want them to be doing factionalism. And see, even when we release them, they can still become our rival. So it becomes awkward. I think the Paradox should probably tweak the chance on this a little bit. It's when they escape or when they're released from our prison that they have the chance to become our rival, and it's a pretty high chance, to be honest. So that ends up creating a lot of rivalries, even if we're not, like, deliberately going out and imprisoning people, right? Which we haven't been, to be honest. We have not been deliberately imprisoning people. Do we have an easy way to see who all is our rival? Like, in, like, relationships here? Okay, so it looks like we currently have 4 rivals. Gotcha. Okay, so that's fine for now. These guys are going to be firing in about a month. So the current leader is the King of France, and we're going to raise up our forces right in his capital here. So we're going to raise our men-at-arms. We're going to raise every single levy troop that we have access to at this moment. We are currently a little bit above our domain limit, and that reminds me, we're on a stewardship education. Okay, we need to remove Guardian for right now, because I want to re-educate this child, and I want... our mother would be fine. I want to send to university. I want to make sure that we're being sent to university here. So that'll be okay. Court Ranger level has gone up. Yes, this is acceptable. Yes, this is also acceptable. Okay. Granted this Duke a claim on the Empire of Hispania. The Pope is being a jerk, but whatever. Okay. So these guys are going to fire basically any time now, right? They can send their ultimatum in 1 month. Now they can send their ultimatum at any time. We're still raising our forces here. We have most of our forces raised, about 2/3 of them. And we would be okay with them sending their demand anytime at this point. Yeah, I would be completely fine with it at any moment. Come on, faction. You can do it. Here we go. We will not be threatened. Okay, so at this point, we are going to siege down his capital. It'll only take a couple of days, and we're continuing to raise our forces here. There we go. We don't currently have a siege commander here. We'll put this guy in. This ransom is acceptable. We are, of course, going to need a new steward. We're going to need a new marshal. We're going to need a new spy master. All of those seem reasonably okay for now, although our rival being our spy master is maybe not the best of ideas. Okay. Well, we're going to hop on over here and continue to siege while we raise up these forces. Cool. So at this time, this is a war for the claim on the Empire of Hispania. Right. That's absolutely okay. We finished raising over here, and okay, that was going to be awkward. Going there was going to cost us attrition, but whatever. We're going to go siege out this direction since this is, like, towards his force over here. And that'll be the goal. We need to start eliminating some of his forces here. That's going to cost us attrition because we don't have this castle up here. Oh, right. We didn't actually siege down his capital. We should do that. We should siege down his capital. He's going to start sieging down over here. We're going to head that way. We're at 68% war score right now. So that looks good. We'll brook no fairy tales in our court, indeed. Your silver tongue is shining today. Fantastic. Okay, so we're down to 50% right now because they've occupied a number of counties. However, our occupation from counties is currently at 40%, plus an additional 10% from occupying enemy capital and an additional 25% from capturing their air. This means that it is currently not possible for them. What do we need to siege here? We need to go down this way. Okay. This means that it's currently not possible for them to win by occupying counties, which is great. So we're going to continue to siege down this direction. Then we're going to split off forces to go fight his forces over here while we continue to siege. So we're going to grab ourselves bombards. And yes, I did see that we had a faction there briefly. That faction has apparently disappeared. We'll leave 30k here while these guys head on down. And then these guys, they're going to get a siege commander. And I want to make sure that these have a fighting commander. And they do. So that's all looking good. Fantastic. So we're going to do some battling down over here. And in the meantime, we're continuing to siege. They are also continuing to siege. We need to keep that in mind. And for now, this is okay. We're going to take 75 prestige absolutely here. Let's siege out over this direction. We won this battle as expected, and we're going to go take back Poitiers. Cool. So yeah, we're not betrothed right now. That is fully expected. This is going to pull back some war score here. We could start up a slow siege down over this way, but I think we're actually better off to head up here and look to fight. So there is a faction in here that is behind this faction. We're at 98% war score right now, though. This is pretty over. Beautiful. War is over. We enforce these demands and disband our troops. Okay. So we dealt with that factionalism. That should mean that this independence faction is irrelevant to us. That shouldn't be a problem. I think. That'll certainly change the threshold. And yeah, people are going to be very interested in being let out of prison here. And we're going to decline that for any that are our vassal. Anyone else we let out. Absolutely. So that's all okay. So we've got these factions here. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to have significant factionalism beyond that. So that looks good for the moment. Now, back to our previously scheduled expansion. So we can go after White Horde. That is definitely something that we can do. That is ours de jure. We can also go after Finland. Both of those are things that we are interested in doing. This will clean up the border gore out over here, at least a little bit. And we'll also have to eventually go after Crimea. I'm interested in seeing what do we have for claims over here. Not much. I'm assuming we don't have much for claims on Baturid either. Correct. Okay. So that would mean we go after White Horde here for our de jure claims. And then we go after Finland, and then we can look at some of these other areas up over here. So this is fine. We can also, remember, do Holy Wars again. So that's absolutely delicious for us. We're very, very happy about that. For now, we're going to attack White Horde and get that de jure under our control. So let's raise up our forces here. We'll raise men-at-arms. We'll raise a few levy troops. We probably don't need all that many. That's 3,000. Okay. I would love to go fight these guys up over here. That would be absolutely wonderful. So we're going to head on over. We'll siege our way that way. And yeah, we would look to fight these guys specifically for the prestige. But first, we're going to have to take over some of this territory. So in we go here. We could hit their capital and then head directly up and fight these. That seems like a reasonable concept. So we're going to do that. There we go. Their capital's under control. And we're going to come up and fight this force here, taking over their siege. We'll stack wipe them, no problem. And the siege is taken over. These guys are walking into us. We are defending here. And there's a couple stack wipes. Beautiful. Bringing us up quite a lot of prestige. 558, 65, and 1026. So overall, we got around 1,600 prestige out of that. That is not shabby at all. Cool. So we're going to continue to push up northward here. Excellent. 81% war score at this time. We could go fight them up here. I don't think there's actually a reason to do it. We could get a crush on our courtier here, but I don't think that's necessary. Cool. 87% war score. 100%. Perfect. So we'll enforce those demands and disband our troops. Oddly, this became ours directly. A number of these did become ours directly. So we'll grant these out to count levels, but we'll need to get those moved into a kingdom level. So what do we have for kingdom titles here? Galicia, Volhynia? Okay, yep, that needs to be created. And then that is going to go to this guy. So we grant him the title, and he's actually the wrong religion, but we'll grant him the title of the Kingdom of Galicia, Volhynia. This kingdom maybe should be granted out as well. It's probably not necessary, but we'll grant this kingdom for the moment, Galicia, Volhynia. That'll be absolutely fine. And this guy's not necessarily the happiest with us. We'll send him a little bit of a gift, and we'll try to ask him to convert. He's probably not going to, though. So for now, that's reasonably fine. We'll see what he says. He would do it for a hook. We're not going to give him a hook. Okay, so we don't have much on this guy. What if we were to go for Crimea and then struggle clash him? That's a potential option. Okay, so we'd need to look for a claimant for Crimea. And there's not a lot of options. We've got this guy, who we might be able to bring in. Ooh, we'd have to send him an artifact. Okay, so we'll send him an artifact. How about the prize goblet? That'd be 10 opinion of us. He would still not come to court? Wow, okay. We'll have to send him an additional artifact. I did expect 10 would be enough. Here's 25 opinion. Okay, now he'll come to our court. Excellent. So we'll need to get him converted over to make this a little cheaper. He, of course, agrees to the conversion. And now we can declare war on Crimea, pressing his claim. Perfect. Of course, we can still go after Finland de jure, and that is something that we're interested in doing. But I want to get Crimea cleaned up so that way we can go after Baturid with just a struggle clash. That's the idea here. So we declare on Crimea, and this is not going to be a particularly difficult war. We'll invade, I think, Crimea proper down here, and we'll just raise some forces on up, and inward we go. What does he have? Okay, this is sufficient forces at this point. So we'll get our men-at-arms here, 25 days, and this should not be particularly difficult for us. Most of these ransoms, yes, this is acceptable. This is not. No. No. But yeah, I do think the reason why, like, random deaths are something different, right? Random deaths do happen, and those are fine. I think it's a combination of bad luck on random deaths and rivals from languishing in our prison. Personally, I am of the opinion that languishing in the prison should only be a thing when we deliberately imprison them. That's just my opinion. But whatever, it's fine. As long as we've got heirs, we'll be okay. So they're heading up over this direction. Sure, whatever. We're just going to get Kerch taken over, no problem here. So we'll get Crimea under our control, and we'll, of course, need to continue to knock back some of these borders over this way. But this is all looking absolutely great at this point. We are expanding by leaps and bounds. No doubt about that. War's over, so we'll enforce these demands and disband our troops. It is also time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on these three kingdoms up over here. Actually, Dvinok is going to be a pretty important kingdom for us to take, looking at this. So we'll have to look into that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.